So I'm not supposed to be taking any photos or footage right now while I'm at work, but I drew this yesterday while I was here. Well, I started on it yesterday and then I finished it while I was at home. But I'll make a part 2 or whatever and just splice the 2 videos together explaining how I did this. So yeah, stick around for the rest of the video to find out. All right, so yeah, the first part of the video was a bit awkward, but that's because I was actually on the job and what have you. But I am not on the job anymore. This is the drawing. I added my signature to it and showed it to a few coworkers, got some positive feedback, and 2 of them actually took photos or whatever on their phone. And it's a good drawing. I like it. Is it 100% like the original image that I used as a reference? No, nor does it have to be, and nor do I want it to be. I wanted it to be my own version, so I'm glad that it turned out the way it did. It took me around, I guess I worked on it for about 4 hours while I was at work, and then I came home and worked on it for maybe about another 7 to 8 hours. And the whole Final Fantasy VII logo or whatever and the meteor, that's something that I just decided to throw together at the last minute. It's not something I was planning on doing. But yeah, there's a lot of detail that I put into this, including like if I zoom in here a little bit, the crease in her hair, shadows along the side of the face, aging lines under her eyes, shadows along the nose and on the lips, underneath underneath her chin right here, neck bones, the along her arms, just light shadows. Um, the creases in the tank top that she wears underneath the breast, the lacing of the shirt, shadows on the stomach, and shadows on the gauntlet or whatever that she wears. I try and go into detail as much as possible when I draw really anything. I pretty much gave up by the time I got to the meteor part of the Final Fantasy VII logo. I basically just half-assed it because I was just tired at that point, and I just wanted to be done with it. So, yeah, I just threw that together. But everything else, yeah, I put a lot of time and effort into this. So, um, feel free to criticize, because all that does is make me better at drawing, is realizing, recognizing what the faults are. Also, I will explain exactly, the details that I tried to capture, most of which I already mentioned, but as well as what I think I could have done better. So the image I used to draw the picture of Tifa, my drawing, comes from the promo image that Square Enix released for the Final Fantasy VII Remake before the game came out, and I drew about half of the character from the waist up. So, noticing a few things that I tried to include in the drawing. Small details, but important details. First of all, zooming in a little bit, there's certain things such as the lacing on the t-shirt, the tank top that she wears, and there's the little split that lines the middle of her abdomen, crossing through her belly button. There's some
darker shadows along the edges of her stomach over here. Darker shadows are coming from her left side, and then there's the curvy nature of her figure. So she has an hourglass figure because Final Fantasy characters are just perfect in every way. They don't call it fantasy for no reason. Then there's the darker shades of the hair. Then you have the more striking features of her hair, such as the sheen and the direction of where the light sits on the top of the character's head. As far as the face goes, there's these little, I guess, age marks underneath her eyes, plentiful eyelashes on the edges of her eyelids, and then there's obviously the slit that most people have over the rim of the eye itself, as well as um, the little dots in her eyes, the white dots, which shows light hitting the eye. There's the dark shades on her lips, specifically in the top and then on the corners of the bottom of the mouth. There is some darker shades of shadows on the edge of the face and underneath the neck and behind the neck, as well as the neck bones right here. There is the gauntlet, which was pretty difficult. I didn't get it perfect, but I got it as well as I could. A lot of the details of the gauntlet have been blacked out, so I pretty much had to just gauge how long certain pieces were and gauge where I should stop with certain details. And there's light hitting the gauntlet as well. Of course, my drawing isn't a color drawing, so that made it more difficult. And the as far as the dimensions of where certain things sit, such as the edge of her hair right here, which doesn't come close to the strap. In my drawing, it's a little bit off because clothing is pretty difficult to get right. The edge of her hair right here in the front is actually, in my drawing, it's actually sitting on her strap right here, where it's not in the original image that I used. So yeah, that's most of what I took notice of when I drew the picture. Yeah, that's really it. If there's anything I could have improved on, I could have added a little bit more details to the ear right here, and I could have did a better job as far as the dimensions go. Yeah, that's really as far as criticism goes on my end. So so in general, when it comes to drawing any of the Final Fantasy VII characters in particular, Tifa is actually one of the more easy characters to draw in comparisons to some of the other characters from the game. So, and I forgot to mention that in the original image, her nose is slightly smaller than in my drawing, but the nose in my drawing, even though it's slightly larger, it actually fits the face and it makes the character look more realistic than this kind of plastic baby doll look that Square Enix has going on. And I believe Tetsuya Nomura, the director for the remake, also did the character design for the characters in this game. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the little intricate details that I tried to include in the drawing. And as far as how I actually started, you always want to start with like the face. So I started with the edge of Tifa's face right there. Went up, did the ear, the earring. I did her left eye and the eyebrow, and then the nose, the other eye, The mouth started with the hair, and then I just went down from there. And I started kind of jumping around until it all came together. So, but yeah, that was my process for drawing Tifa.